In Cuba, President Castro long ago chose to ally his government with Russia. A course he may regret. He made his allegiance clear at the United Nations
that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation on that imprisoned island.
The year was 1961, and the leaders of USSR were apprehensive about USA's intention of invading Cuba. They were worried about USA's plans of overthrowing Fidel Castro's communist regime. And the reason was simple. Cuba was an ally of Soviet Union, and it received both financial and diplomatic aid from it. Nikita Khrushchev, the leader of Soviet Union at that time, turned Cuba into a Russian base. And not only this, in 1962, Soviet Union placed nuclear missiles in Cuba. For the very first time, USA was challenged by someone from such a close range, as the threat over American bases and cities almost doubled. The American president, John F. Kennedy, was reluctant to retaliate in any harsh manner, as it would have potentially led to a full-scale nuclear war. But Kennedy was determined to remove missiles and nuclear weapons from Cuba, and as a result, American warships started intercepting every Soviet ship that headed towards Cuba. It was this historical event that came to be known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. Cuban Missile Crisis became a high point of Cold War, but eventually both the power blocs avoided any escalation towards a full-fledged war, as they knew the irreversible consequences of the same. The reason why Cold War did not turn into a hot war was that both the USA and Soviet Union gave priority to human survival. Both were equally powerful, and hence avoiding of war was nothing else but the use of logic of deterrence. Cold War was not only about power rivalries, rather it was an ideological conflict. The power blocs tried to enhance their sphere of influence by allowing smaller states to join them. And in return, smaller states received protection, weapons, and economic aid. The impact of Cold War first became visible in Europe. Countries favoring USA were collectively called as Western Alliance. As a result, NATO was formed. Being part of NATO meant that any attack on any of the NATO members was an attack on all NATO members. Similarly, Soviet Union increased its sphere of influence over Eastern European countries, and collectively they signed Warsaw Pact to counter NATO. And not only this, when USA, SEATO, Southeast Asia Treaty Organization and CENTO, Central Treaty Organization, were formed to influence countries of East, Southeast and West Asia, Soviet Union responded by creating strong relations with countries like North Korea, Vietnam and Iraq. Cold War also had a chilling effect on newly independent countries that gained freedom from colonial masters like Britain and France, as they were in fear of losing their independence. Well, have you ever wondered why USA and Soviet Union, even after being so powerful, needed allies? The reasons were many, like access to oil and mineral resources, use of their territories to launch missiles and weapons, to have military bases in different parts of the world, and to have economic support, like sharing of military expenses. These allies and their loyalty made Cold War a war of ideas and political ideologies. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please share your views in the comment section. Keep watching Quick Notes UPSC and stay tuned for our next video.